Thanks, so he's actually really pretty soon.
Okay. And then I'll call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilman Needham? Here. Councilman Bill? Supervisor Runyon? Here. Councilman Brown?
Here.
Councilman DeLucia?
Here.
Alright, first resolution that we have is to approve payment of the claims. Does anyone, you're bringing it to the floor, Ed? Okay.
Yep.
Who is the,
Ed's bringing it forward, I'll second it.
Ed is. Ed and Randy.
Motion, okay.
Yeah. Do you have any questions on any of those bills? Did you look, do or ask me anything?
I did have a question, I saw one, I just didn't know what it was, the backyard outfitters,
That's the building.
okay, that's
Yeah.
what I thought,
Yep.
okay.
What about Parks and Recs?
Park and Rec.
Yeah, payment of claims.
Right, that's 2,500.
Yeah, but we already have a contract looking good for July 31st of 25.
Yep, and I reached out to her, and I thank you very much for that information. I reached out to her. We're either going to get refunded for the balance of 2024, or change the date on the new contract that's listed here to be August to July, or whatever it was. Yeah, it was an overlap in the time on them contracts.
So, in order to do business with them, you have to start a contract in January?
I'm asking her, what does she want to do? If she would like to do an annual contract every year, January to December, because of how we came in the middle of the year last year, if she wants it to be that way every year, January to December, we could do that, but then she has to refund us for the 7 months that we paid into 2025. So I'm just waiting for her to tell me which way does she want to go.
But you already paid her for 2025, right?
Yep.
So we're in the hole for 7 months worth of.
Well, she's gonna fix it one way or another. It'll either be a refund or extend our time into 2026. But I don't think she's gonna wanna extend it into 2026. I think she'd prefer to reimburse us, so.
Don't you usually sign a contract and go from year to year like you
It
did
should.
in August? I mean,
Well-
we're good till July 31 of 2025 with the contract that you signed.
Yep, I know, but there was that overlap in the time. If she wants to do that and have it be January to December, then she'll have to reimburse us for the 7 months extra.
I guess my question is, why would she send you a contract to sign again when you're already good for another 7 months?
She doesn't send us the contract, we send her the contract. So it was my mistake to put those dates in there,
The
not
August
hers.
Till July 31st?
That was because we didn't contract them till the middle of the year, so that's
Yeah.
why that went that way, and it was an annual payment. So that would have went from like July to August, or August
August to July.
to July, yeah.
The only difference is we paid $12.50 for a year in 24, now we're paying $2,500 for a year in 25.
Yeah, and see, and I thought that the $12.50 was a half a year, but it wasn't, that was an annual fee,
That's what,
yeah.
I guess my question is, we're gonna pay her double because she doesn't wanna,
No, they doubled the rate,
yes.
yeah, they doubled the rate.
But our contract is good till July 31st of 2025 at $12.50. Now you're gonna pay.
For that year,
25, well, this is this year coming, 2025.
right,
So yeah, you're right, the $12.50 that we paid back in the
Was
beginning of
for
the
a
year.
year, no,
Yeah,
the
so
beginning of
that's-
the year was August 1st.
So that contract covered us until the end of July of 2025,
right,
but then they,
At $12.50 a year.
at $12.50.
yeah.
But according to what Deb's saying, they doubled the rate, so now it's $2,500 for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, are we going to be good for a year until July of 2026? Or is she gonna give us back
Yes.
$1,250?
Yes, that's my
You got
question.
somebody
Yeah.
coming in.
So if she wants it to be annual, you know, then she'll have to refund us. Hi.
I mean,
So yeah, I've emailed her, we're gonna get it resolved, one way or the other.
does that answer your question?
I guess the answer should have been before we pay her 2,500.
Well,
I
either
mean,
way,
it
our
was-
next year would have been 2,500, no matter what month, so it's either gonna change the months that it covers, but I don't think that's what I don't know what she's gonna wanna do, but.
This 2,500 that is on this claim is coming out of 2024 general fund, correct?
Well, I'm not so sure it should, because if it's gonna be a January to December bill, then it really will be a prepay of next year's expense. So it'll sit on the books as being prepaid. That's why I need to know which way does she wanna resolve it. If it's going to be a January 2025, then that 2,500 belongs in the next year's books, so.
But you're taking it out of this year's books, correct?
Well, for right now, but I've got time to change that, depending on what's
It's
gonna
coming out of
happen.
this year's pot of money, but how she records it in the books, and if, what she's saying is it could get attributed to the 2025 budget,
Yeah,
but it depends on which way they propose to handle it, so.
If it does, I'll end this at this question, but if I'm paying $1,250 and I'm good till July 31st of 2025, when July 1st of 2025 comes, then I owe them $2,500. The way it's going here, you're gonna be reimbursed whatever they decide to give you back, and you're gonna pay $2,500 from January 1st to December 31st.
if she wants
In other
to,
words, you're getting half price from when we started this contract till July 31st. Now you're gonna pay $2,500 and start from January of the year you already paid.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're asking, and I think he's right. I think we need to make sure that she understands that we're good until July 31st of 2025 at the 1,250.
right,
If she wants 1,250 more to get us to the end of the year, it shouldn't be 1,250 because it's only,
But that would be reasonable, 1250.
that would be.
From July 31st to December 31st, to give her 1250, but
so you're
right
saying,
now what we're paying is half price of what we're gonna pay her in 2025.
Yeah, it's confusing, but
Cause we're already paid to July 31st.
so you're saying that would be another option, would be to give her was for us to get 1,250 back and then have it end in December,
Yes,
right?
let it go to July 31st,
And
what
then
we've
pay
already
half the
paid
year.
her, then pay the half a year from July
That's
31st.
a good idea, I could,
Well, that covers us and doesn't let them decide what they're gonna give you back,
right, and then at the end of 2026, we could be on the annual.
January to December.
Perfect, I'll ask her about doing that. That would work out well for us.
glad
I
you
think so.
caught that.
Yeah,
Thanks,
me
Ray.
too, me too. Any other questions on the invoices? Okay, so the total for abstract 12, general fund, for December 19th is $30,653.68. And the total of abstract 12 for the highway fund is $23,143.97, for a grand total of $53,797.65. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Second resolution I have is for some budget adjustments. We are going to have more. I would like to schedule another meeting at the end of December to finalize all of our 2024 bills. But for right now, these are the ones that I wanted to fix right away, because this is finalizing them. I don't think we'll have any more expenses to these codes.
Will we have everything by the end of December? I thought there was always some bills that came in late, like in
Yeah,
January.
so if we had a meeting like December 30th, and then maybe one in January before I close out the year.
Okay.
But the more I stay on top of it, the less I have to do before we get the new accounting software put in. Because every year we get totally new software
Okay.
through Williamson Law.
Mhm.
And I can't start the new year until I close out the old year,
Exactly, yeah.
so. What this is showing here is the increase, the money that we got in occupancy tax. There was a negative in there was some extra money handed out and gonna go to fund balance, but this, our budget didn't show the revenue at all because it came in late in October, maybe early November. So this is just bringing us even with what we've spent. And I don't think we'll be spending any more occupancy tax between now and the end of the year.
But we need to bring this to the floor. Sorry.
Oh, thanks, Randy.
I'll do that.
Thanks.
I'll second.
Ed seconds it? Yeah. Okay. So that's what that one is. And then the community garden, that revenue for the grant came in, so I can increase the expense and increase the revenue and washes out that negative. And then the one below it was machinery contractual for the highway. And I just took that off of the bridges equipment, the extra in the New York State retirement, and the machinery equipment had $34,976 left in it, and that covered that negative totally.
And what did we use the machinery contractual for that we went over?
I think that's where all of the, I could run the code if you wanted to see it. That's where a lot of their expenses go. It's a general code for everything that they're buying parts. I think some fuel's in there. I can run it if you want.
I'm just wondering why, I mean, we went almost $50,000 over, I'm just wondering why, you know, what happened with that?
I have a question too.
Okay.
The $34,000 that you're taking out of machinery equipment,
Mm-hmm.
is there a bunch of money in that, or
No, that's it. That's what's in there. That's the total amount that's in
did
that.
you put $104,000 in it last month?
I moved that from one code to another. I moved it out of
Machinery
the,
equipment though, correct?
that was an equipment code, but I had to move the expense over because that code is not recognized on the annual report. So I had to move that code, the budget and the expense, to this other code. Otherwise, I have a code that the AUD doesn't recognize. So it wasn't spending it, it was moving it.
So the other $65,000 that was moved last month is somewhere else?
Was it for equipment?
Yeah. This same piece of paper on last month,
No, I don't have that with me.
$104,000 from machinery equipment.
The 104,000 was for the two payments that we made, and that was in its own code. It was 5197. Oh, it should probably be showing on this, here. Yeah, you'll see DA 5197.2, it's like the third from the end of the packet. It has zeros now, it had the 104,300
Yep.
as the budget and the expense was there, and that got moved into the other code. That's why you saw the 104 moving, I was emptying this one. So I was emptying the budget amount and the expense.
And what was left in that code was the $34,900 you got in this month's?
It went to, if you look on the 2 pages up from that, you'll see 5130.2 machinery equipment. And that shows the 104, it had 50,000, and then the 104 went into there, where it says modified budget.
I would get it when I get home.
Alright, well, it's
I got
page,
too many papers here.
oh, it's page,
But I know that we put 104,000 memory-wise.
we put it in there from from a code I can't use on the AFR.
Yeah.
So I moved the budget and the expense both to that code. That's what happened there. As far as, what did you wanna know? You wanted to know about the machinery contractual, 5130.4. That had a budget of 100,000. Well, that was machinery equipment going into that one. Yeah, that had 100,000 in the budget and 147,000 was spent. That's why we needed to do this budget adjustment. And, that's where the expenses are for, I think they're fuel, parts, renting excavators, renting a loader, anything that's not a true equipment, it goes in that code.
I'm just wondering why we went over it so much this year.
Mm.
How come? we went over
I can go run it in a second for you, give it to you after if you want, however you wanna do it.
We can worry about it afterwards.
Okay.
I'm just curious, how come we blew that code so much?
Okay, I'll run that code, and I can get you that. I might have it printed in the folder, do you want me to go get it for you? I mean, I'd rather solve the problem.
It's not important to do it right now, we got other stuff, and Nate, are you here for?
No, I'm just saying.
Well, then I'll run it for
See
you.
what it looks like
after
from
the
this
meeting.
side.
There you go. Glad to have it.
Yeah,
Seems good to sit on the other side once in a while.
yeah, he needs company. Okay, so, is there any other questions about what I have here? No? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 And then the only other information that I have here, I have, in your packet is a letter from DPW about how we go about using the hauling services.
Yep, I saw that.
Yep, and who to call and when it starts. So. There's also a report from Warrensburg EMS. And there's a letter here from James Grau inviting us to a summer field day, and a winter field day, if you wanna attend that. And after that, the only thing that I have is to discuss the ARPA funding. So did you guys do any information on what you wanna spend that ARPA money on? Did you have any quotes or any ideas?
I have requested a quote from Kevin Lynch with Slick Enterprises.
Okay.
He sent me a map, and much to my surprise, I thought there were a lot more places in town that were still lacking the high-speed internet, but it turns out it's just Dippikill and Sky High Road. There might be a few on Garnet Lake Road, but I think and I haven't been up on Garnet Lake Road in a while, but I think they might be past the end of where power is.
Oh,
So if that's the case, I asked Kevin to supply us with a quote of what it would cost us to get fiber optic to both Dippikill and
Okay.
Sky High Road.
Did you have anything on there about William J. Baker?
He did not, the
I
map,
wasn't if it was on.
I think I sent you the map.
I have the map in email, I have it,
A
yeah.
lady that I do some maintenance for, I think she said they wouldn't run it in there.
I can send you.
Yeah,
the
William J.
Oh, okay.
Baker Road doesn't have it.
Huh?
William J. Baker.
No, I
doesn't.
know, the lady that I do
They
work
told
for.
there wasn't electricity down at the last house that the man owns.
Oh, yes, there is.
I know there's electricity, but Slick said there wasn't. That's
I
why
know.
they wouldn't run it.
I know, I've been,
Yeah.
Well, I did get something
There's a
from
few
the
roads
state.
around that don't have it.
yeah.
What he was telling me, so everything that's in green is served,
Mm-hmm.
so these homes on Dippikill are not.
Right.
And then up here on Sky High, and then on, Garnet Lake Road here.
This must be William J. Baker, that's right there.
So they're showing just two homes in there.
Yeah, well, there's more than 2 places now, there's several homes in there that, there's camps with power, they've all had electricity, everyone.
Wait a minute, no,
I don't know the exact number.
that can't be William J. Baker Road, that's Johnsburg.
It should be right at the Johnsburg sign.
Maybe they got.
I think this map doesn't show any, road, you have to expand it so big it wouldn't fit on a page.
This is South Johnsburg Road.
Yeah, it's off
So
South
that's this is Kenyon Garnet Lake Road.
Right, yeah.
So.
The next road should be
It's
reviewed.
gotta be one
What?
of them in there.
The next road
Oh,
after
then you know
Kenyon
what,
Road
it's
should
this
be
here.
reviewed.
Cause
Oh.
it comes back into Thurman right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay, well, we can include that in it.
yeah, and you know, when people have inquired, you know, and it's just a thought, you know.
I mean,
And, add- if you
high-speed
could-
internet was one of the uses that they
Exactly,
spelled
yeah.
out for the ARPA funds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for his response. I'll have to check with him again because I haven't heard anything back.
Mhm.
I did get something from the state where they asked, that they have some funding that they're going to be using, and they did have a map out there, and I had to go on and draw circles around those roads and show it to them.
Mhm.
So, you know, maybe they'll fund it, but if not, we'll have probably money to do that.
I mean, I think it would be fair to those residents, since
Yeah.
everybody else got served,
Right.
to get them
As
served.
the
so.
option anyway.
Do we
Yeah.
have it in, landfills up there too?
What?
Did what?
Slick into the.
Yeah.
Oh, it is, it's already in there.
Yeah,
okay.
we have slick there, yeah, and slick phone,
Okay.
phone and internet.
Phone and internet, okay.
Who's responsible for burying that wire?
I think we are, right? Who's gonna bury that wire? It's not slick, they're not burying it, we have to bury it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I buried mine and my neighbors, so.
Yeah, I buried
Dug a
mine.
When you
trench.
ditched yours.
I
Yeah,
dug
what's
my
that?
own
I
trench.
said, I seen when you ditched yours before they got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ditched my own too. so.
On another subject, I think we may have talked about this last time, but I can't remember how much, we talked about, but on the Reynolds Cemetery, the surveyor is trying to make sense of what's going on there. As we know, there's a few graves over the property lines.
Yeah,
We need to, in fact, this is my responsibility, I was gonna call again, I haven't, been able to get a hold of, or talk to Susie, but find out contact information for the adjoining property owner so we can extend that boundary. And, the surveyor is also trying to figure out our plot system because we've got people buried in plots maybe they shouldn't, they don't own, or some of them look like they're at an angle, they're not
Yeah.
in just one plot.
It's a mess.
So
Mhm.
what was recommended, by John Alexander is that we create a grid that is like 20 by 20, so you have, 10 plots in a square.
mm-hmm,
And you can set the corners for those squares, and that way it's easier to locate the plots with, so you don't have to work off of something 100 feet away or whatever.
yeah,
That makes a
So
lot of
the
sense.
surveyor's gonna try to make sense of that and get us a map and get us some information on that, so.
the original map that Sue showed me had the grid like that, they were
Yeah.
all in a row. I
Yeah.
don't know how they ended up on an angle, rocks
I
maybe?
think
or-
over the years, yeah, people would run into a rock, so they just move over and dig a
Yeah.
hole someplace else. Just maybe they made a mistake when they located a plot or whatever,
Yeah,
but it just happened, so, our cemetery's not unique, it happens all over the place, so,
okay.
anyhow, that was those two things.
Well, I just wanted to let you know, going back to the ARPA funding, we have to obligate this money by the end of the year. So I've had, I'm waiting on quotes, one I'll have tomorrow. I wanted to find out how much it would cost to make this door and over here ADA compliant, a door and a ramp. So he's getting me a quote on that. Back there, that door, it doesn't work with the button. When he came to see it, it's not really ADA compliant. It's got that steep paved hill there. There's no railings there. It doesn't really qualify for ADA compliant. So I'm gonna see what the quote would be. I also talked to GA Bove about having central air put in downstairs. It's not viable upstairs, but we can do it down here. So the town hall can become a cooling station. Last year, they told me that our furnace, we should think about replacing it. So he discussed a combination unit they have for air conditioning and furnace, so I'm getting a quote on that. Another thing I wanted to get was an AED for the youth building that has both adult and child pads. That's about $2,500, and I do have quotes on that. And I don't know how much any of this is gonna cost. We're gonna have to figure that out and then vote on what we're gonna do with it. I have also those 4 LED panels in there.
Yeah.
3 of them are out, one's flickering. I called Hill Electric They're replacing them for free because we're under 5-year warranty. However, we have to hire an electrician to install them. I don't know if that would, I mean, this is revenue recovery now, we can use money for that, but that's another thing that I have on my list. Also, moving electric and slick to your new building, I have that on the list. I don't know what that will be, but, and then I have the garage well and septic, but we'll leave, the well and septic could be covered by the bond. If we have enough money to do these other things, then I think we'll just,
The slick would be nice for.
Well, you have to
things
move it
town,
over.
You know, that would be nice if we could do that.
When you said that we have to allocate this by the end of the year, you talking by the end of 2024 or 25?
Yes. no, right now, 20,
No, it's 25. ARPA money runs out in 25. You have to use it by 2025.
but you have to
December
allocate it, you have to allocate it by this December 31st.
I didn't realize that when we started all this, because that leaves us very little time to.
Right. Yeah. No, it's now. We have to allocate this money by the end of the year, this year, and we have to spend it by the end of 2026.
And how much, what's the total that we have?
$120,779.22. That's what we have.
I would propose that we put like the 20,000 towards your list of things there, and then put the rest of it towards the slicks, towards the high-speed internet for those other roads.
100,000, you think it's gonna cost?
It's gonna cost a lot. It's gonna cost a lot. When I talked to Kevin, he didn't give me an actual dollar figure, but one of the reasons that they're not doing anything right now is there's no reimbursement out there, and the amount that it costs them to run fiber optic like a mile is really high. So,
Guesstimate high?
what's that?
And did he give you any guesstimate?
He
for
didn't,
mile?
I've asked him for a proposal, what it's gonna cost to do it.
Didn't they used to do it by the foot?
I believe so, but I don't know right now. I mean, he probably has to look at the road and see what they have for access for poles and things like that. I don't know. So,
Well, I would want to, let's schedule a meeting. We have to do the final bills anyway, so we could schedule, I'd like to meet on the 30th, which gives us Christmas week off, and then gives us time to get quotes. If we can meet on the 30th to do some of our final bills and final budget adjustments,
Not this one, the following one,
yeah, the following one,
4:30.
yep, if that works for everybody.
sure.
Meeting December 30th at 4:30?
Yeah,
I gotta put it in there, but I forget.
and then while we're here, we might as well schedule our organization meeting, which I guess we could do that January 6th on a Monday if you want. I mean, there's no set, I thought it had to be done by the 5th, but it really doesn't. They just recommend you do it as early as possible in January.
Okay.
So, does January 6th work for you guys, for that?
That's the first Monday.
It's a Monday, yeah.
Yep, that's fine.
4:30?
Okay.
Anything else? Cause I did have one other thing I was
No,
gonna
no,
bring up.
I'm done, that's it.
So Brian has requested more than once that we look into the senior exemption. I've started doing some research on it. I printed out forms from the state website, and I checked some of these surrounding towns and to see what the rates are and stuff. It sounds like, and I haven't gotten far enough to know exactly what I'm talking about, but I think we have to pass a local law, a town law
That's how
to
you do it, yeah.
So we need to decide whether we wanna do it. I mean, I think we should, be consistent with some of the surrounding towns, and we'll have to figure out what level we want what income level we want the exemption to kick in at. I have, like, for Warrensburg, I have that here. For the county, the maximum you can make, and this is gross income, not net income.
Okay.
For the county, it's $37,399, and for Warrensburg, it's $32,399. don't ask me why they're $5,000 less than,
Wait, one is the county and one is the town?
the first number, 37,399.
Mhm.
That's the maximum income you can earn to qualify for the senior exemption. And then it's 32,399 is Warrensburg's threshold.
Okay,
And doesn't say here, but Brian, do you
Do
know?
you have Thurman's on there?
I didn't, I don't have
you
it.
know it though, don't you? Do you know?
Yeah, I know it's extremely low.
Yeah, 12,500.
But my question is, when you qualify for it based on your income,
Yep.
how much do you get taken off your property taxes?
Johnsburg is, you can get, if you make 31,000, I think Johnsburg is 31,500, you can get 50% of your town tax reduced.
Wow.
So it
And
doesn't apply,
If you make, it goes down
As you go up,
as you go up.
yeah.
You can
Okay.
get 25% discount on your town tax if you're above that 31.5. But at 31.5, you can claim, you can get 50% off your tax. Warrensburg is the same way.
and what does it apply to? I mean, obviously.
It
you're
applies
primary
to a
residence.
low-income senior citizen that makes, like,
Right.
if he makes $31,000, $31,500, he gets 50% off his town tax,
Right.
Thurman tax.
But what property does it apply to? I assume it's a primary residence.
Residents.
But what if that residence sits on 100 acres? You don't get 50% off on 100 acres. You probably only get, they have, somehow there has to be a limit to what you get it off on.
I don't think so.
I'll ask Sue, because I do know on some of them bills, not the bill that we get in the mail, but they separate that out by the, value of the land and the value of the home, so
Okay.
I'll ask Sue how
I
it
don't believe
works.
it makes any difference if you own 1 acre or 100 acres based on your income.
So, and I think, and I don't know this, but I think in order to implement this, I think we have to pass it by March 1st.
Yes.
Probably,
All your
Okay.
paperwork, all my
Everything.
paperwork had to be in by March 1st.
yeah. March first, every,
Okay,
And-
so,
And the reason I brought it up so many times is my birthday is March 26th. So anybody that was born between January 1st and March 1st can get the credit the year that they put the paperwork. Anybody after March 1st doesn't get it till the next year.
yeah.
And every town around us but Thurman uses December 31st as the breakoff point. So in other words, if you were born between January and December of this year, and you turn 65, you'd be able to get the credit as of January. But the town of Thurman, you have to be born before March 1st, not December 30th.
So that's a local law that the town
Yes.
passed that sets that day?
Well, there's, I think Luzerne's another one that does it, but out of anybody,
Mhm.
the time limit goes from January 1st to December 31st, other than Thurman and Luzerne.
Yeah.
so
Really?
when I went to the state website, I printed out a whole bunch of the town laws that we have on file,
Mhm.
and I did not find one for the senior exemption. Did you find one? Because I went through all of them.
I believe online there's a whole part of town, I believe town law has senior exemption.
I went through all of them. I found all of our town
I'll
laws.
find it, I'll email it to you.
Yeah.
The big, I mean, like I said, I was born later in March, so I didn't qualify for it for 2026,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or 2025.
You
So I
must-
gotta wait till 2026 to get it, and,
Unless that law changes,
well,
yeah.
everybody else, it makes sense if you were born between January and December, you turn 65, you don't get the credit till the year after anyways. The deduction's taken when you turn, you'd be 66,
Mhm.
so,
Yeah.
but in the town of Thurman, you have to be 65 before March 1st.
Yeah.
And you said our number is 12,500?
Mhm.
Do you know if we have that town law on file?
That doesn't sound familiar at all to me.
Yeah, see, I went to the state website and it has all of our town laws,
I'll
and
send you the
I
information.
didn't find it, so.
Sue would have
All
it
right.
though.
I mean, at one point, 10 years ago, Dan Steck tried to get all the towns in Warren County to follow the county's
Yeah.
numbers. The
Yeah.
county numbers go up, just like a raise would go up for senior citizens exemptions.
Right.
But ours hasn't changed since 2008.
2008 is when they did this 12.5.
Right. Alright, I'll do some more research, and if
Yeah.
you've got something that'll
Yeah,
help
I'll-
me, send it to me.
I got something.
Mhm.
No, not with me.
Okay, that's all I have.
I've got paperwork in it.
Mhm.
I have a few questions,
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
you're down with questions.
Yeah.
What's the update on highway garage funding?
Well, I haven't sought that. I'm waiting till the new year to do that, because right now I've got to close out this year, and I haven't looked for any new funding other than the ones I got turned down.
Have you looked at the CHIPS money
The CHIPS money? The, what do you
for
mean?
highway garage?
Oh, to use
To
it.
use it?
Pat looked into that. I didn't. Yeah. And I think that you were right about that. You can use that for a building, but then you have no money to do your roads. So,
Well,
I mean, 300,000.
you're looking at 300,000 to that, and you're looking at, I realize the roads need to be repaired, but 15 years ago, they were gonna pave Dippico Road, it's still a dirt road, so
That's
I'm
'cause they
not the
didn't
one to
want,
look.
that's 'cause the majority of the people didn't want it paved.
That's
You're
right.
wrong.
They
They
did.
didn't want it paved.
I still got the petition in.
I know,
The only signatures they took were the ones that were for yes,
Yeah.
and people on the camp end of it, like the Nelsons, said they would have never signed it if they knew it was only going to Loveland Road. And I don't care about having a pavement road,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I believe them, some of the money that's in CHIPS should be rolled over to be put into a $4.5 million garage. I
But
mean,
we,
you're looking for money.
but it does say you can only roll it over 1 year for us.
I believe, I talked to a guy Tuesday, I called him, he answered the phone on the first ring, he told me that you could use the money, CHIPS money, for a garage or any outbuilding,
Uh-huh.
and he said, let me make sure before I kick myself. He called me back in 5 minutes and told me definitely you could use it for that. You could also use CHIPS money to buy dump trucks with snow plows, excavators, loaders, backhoes.
Mhm.
Yet we buy them out of taxpayer money. Why don't we use, I understand that some roads need to be repaired, but we could be using that CHIPS money for a lot of things.
Well, that's Pat's call, not.
It's a question of priorities, and, I mean, I don't disagree with you, I'm just saying that we've gotta do all of it.
Yeah.
We've gotta buy equipment, we gotta pave roads, we need a highway garage, and that isn't gonna pay for all of it, it's a question of, if we use it for one, then we have to use taxpayer for the other one, if we use it for the other one, we have to use taxpayer money for this one,
Exactly.
so.
And all roads need to be done, but I look at it as we just bought 2 brand new dump trucks. You could have used CHIPS money to pay one off completely and got that money back from CHIPS, just like you do paving.
Yeah.
You buy the truck, you have to pay for it first, just like you do for paving. You send the voucher in, they reimburse you. We would have been out a whole truck payment.
But not have done the
And
road,
interest.
but not have paved any roads.
We really got no blacktopping done, or no
Yeah.
roads.
Did Smith Street really need to be paved?
What?
Did Smith Street really need to be paved? I didn't see that it was in very bad shape at all.
Well, I don't know.
Go down Parker Crossroad, you might better
So-
kill yourself.
So here's the thing though, it's not our call which roads get paved, it's Pat's call, and we control Pat's budget, but we can't dictate to him what he, what he pays and what he doesn't pay, or how he uses his CHIPS money, unfortunately, that's not up to the town board.
But I have to check the rolling over, because if we can only roll it over one time, and we don't have any other money for a highway garage, what do we do?
Mhm.
What are we gonna do with it to get it reimbursed?
Mhm.
We won't have the garage done, we won't be able to do that, so I gotta check on that rollover amount, because I'm pretty sure it says we can only roll over 1 year, and then you
Well,
lose it.
If we accumulate a bunch of it, then we would have to use it for pavement or,
Yeah.
something else, so.
My
It's good to know.
My position about the dump truck, it would have been paid for already. 2025 CHIPS money could have paved down Potter Road and, Smith Street, but you've already bought the truck, so you can't use CHIPS money for 2 trucks that we haven't even started paying for yet.
Right, we'll start paying this February.
Yeah, but we could have bought one, had it completely paid for and saved $67,000 in interest and only had one of them to pay for it.
Yeah, but no roads would have got done. So it's a tough, like what he
Don
said,
Potter and Smith
The
Street
next
wouldn't
patch
wait a
calls
year.
now.
it's
Oh,
either
Have you
one
ever
or
been
the other.
on down Potter Road before it's paved?
Yup.
You
Have
would
been
never
down
get
Market
through it.
Cross?
I'm gonna tell you right now, I've lived there for 50 years.
Yep.
When it was mud, you walk from where I live to the end of the road. It's solid mud. I don't agree with you about not paving roads, 'cause you gotta pave roads.
Well, I know the
You
reason
don't
that,
have to use all the CHIPS money on this. You can say.
Yeah,
that-
but you only get a mile a year, a mile and a half. We have 57 or 59 road miles that we have to take care of, you know, it's,
Yeah,
the-
but you're
I don't know
gonna-
the exact, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact amount of the town, but we're going to get a mile and a half a
That's
year.
right. You did.
It's not a lot.
yeah. But I do
This
know
road-
with that road though,
Yeah.
Ed, if it hadn't been done, it was getting bad.
Oh, yeah.
So that if it hadn't been, it wouldn't have been able to be repaved, it would have had to have been dug up and started from scratch. That's why he did that road, to save us the expense of starting from scratch
I
on
know.
it.
And I'm under the impression that the chips was actually not intended for using just for paving. It was just a supplement that they come up with.
Right,
Then they quit, you know, working on the
well, they
taxes.
quit adding to it, you know, that was all the money
They never
allocated
budgeted
for
any
it.
other money, they rely
Yeah.
on the chips, so
You're
you're
right.
right, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's up to
But I
what
mean-
Randy said, that's totally up to Pat. And that's something Pat should be here and come and talk about that. you
He
know.
should be, because
Well, you know,
the whole board voted to buy 2 new trucks.
but, mhm.
Why wasn't Pat here to talk about CHIPS money that could have bought one of the
No,
trucks?
he probably didn't know you were gonna bring it back up, I don't know, but it's,
No, I
it's
don't
a
think
good
he-
point, you know.
I mean, we would have had one truck totally paid for.
Mhm.
Mhm.
$67,000 in
No roads.
interest that we
Yeah.
wouldn't have paid a penny on.
Yeah, and no roads.
Yeah,
But you could pave the roads this coming year. We had 2 trucks that you knew you were buying. 2025 would have paid Don Potter Road and
Yeah,
Smith
I mean, it's a fair point, what he's saying is,
Yeah,
we
oh,
would
I
have saved
wouldn't
the
say it's
interest
not.
on it, and we
Yeah.
could have paved the road, you would have to live one more year without it
If
being.
you need a new loader or backhoe, something to look at that CHIPS money is to pave a half a mile of some road that will wait another year to do it. If you're buying it, you're paying for it, because once you bought it, CHIPS money can't be used no more.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
no, that's right.
No, we can bring it up with him and see, I'll just write that down.
Not to put any more work on it. Will there be some kind of report at the end of the year that gives a detail of what we spent at the dump, or at the garage site to get it ready?
Is there a report?
Will there be a report?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's,
I mean, for like everything together, the engineers, the lawyers,
Yeah.
the equipment.
yeah, I can do that.
But we've got a lot of money invested already.
Yes, we do.
Nobody knows a penny amount to any of it, I don't believe. Besides that, maybe.
Well, it's in all these bills.
Yeah, but
It's listed.
one page that the public can read that says.
I can
hey,
do that.
We've got this much money already
Invested in.
invested.
I'll create one of them for you.
Cause you can get 10 pieces of paper all over your table and you can't keep up to what you're really looking at.
No, but I'll list them all because we'll need that anyway, 'cause when we do get the bond, a lot of that's reimbursable from the
That's right.
bond.
That's why I'm asking,
Yeah,
because
so,
most of this general fund money will go back into the general fund. correct?
yes, yes it will.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
I have something.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have to replace 2 Board of Assessment Review members this
2
year.
of them?
Yeah, Charlotte was willing to do it again, but they won't let her do it without going to training, and she doesn't wanna go to training.
So we're losing Shirley and
Shirley
Charlotte.
and Charlotte.
Okay. Should we put an ad in the paper or?
I guess, or, at least put it on the website.
Okay. And when is Board of Assessment Review gonna happen? It happens when, in the summer?
March or April.
In May, but they gotta
May?
get trained, so, and I don't,
April, and then.
When is the training?
I thought it was April.
April, sometime in May.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
But they'll probably get on it and
cause they'll have to have time to be,
I'll find out when the training is, and maybe we
Okay.
could talk about it at that last meeting.
okay,
Yeah, so I'll write a note for myself to check when the training is.
so then we have Rex and Keith still. And do we have an alternate or no?
No, we don't now.
Maybe we
it's
should
hard
go
enough
for
to
3
get-
people. No, I'm serious. We should go for 3
Wouldn't it be
people.
great if we could get them?
2 and an alternate if we can get that, okay?
Well, how many do you legally have to have?
I think 4, right? We have to have 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Four.
To
Most have
hold
an
the meeting.
alternative too, right?
Hmm?
To
Five.
hold the meeting.
To be on the Board of Assessment Review, yeah.
Because they used to have, believe it or not, at one time we had a, planning department here. You had to
Really?
have 4.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they need 4.
Yeah.
But if you don't show up, what happens?
For what? Board of Assessment Review, there's 5 on there. It's 5 people.
Oh, who's the other
They
person?
don't want 4 because they
We'll have
want,
a tie.
yeah.
So who's the 5th person?
We have, right now, we had Shirley and we had
Keith.
Charlotte, we have Sarah Hall,
Oh,
Keith
Sarah.
Barrett, and Rex Reynolds.
Yeah, I forgot about Sarah. She's still doing it?
Yeah, the other 3 are, well, 2 of them are good until 2026 and 1 is good till 2025,
Okay,
so we'll be looking at, if they don't wanna
yeah.
re-up, we'll be looking at that next year too.
Okay, so for right now, we just need 2 and hopefully an alternate. Okay. Good. You have anything? No? Thanks for coming. No, does anybody else have anything? No? Then you're up, Doug.
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor, say aye.
I'll second it.
Aye.
Alright.
Are things as smooth here as they are down Stony Creek?
Oh, yeah. I wish my meetings were this long.
Alright, I'll see you later.
At least
Yeah,
another hour.
You don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you?
Another hour at least.
What do you got going on that's so controversial it takes you that long?
Our highway superintendent,
Yeah?
talked to Jim Afar today on that behalf.
Neil?
Yeah, plowed a car into the 4 corners for closing weekend of the Stony Creek Games, boxed in 4 sides, smashed in with snow. And then they clipped the car up on Roy Branch Road with a wing, but that's because the lady decided to leave half the car on the road. And then she wanted the town to pay her $500 deductible, and we said, no action.
Wow.
Send me a police report, we'll submit it to the insurance company, other than that, not dealing with it.
I forgot, I had one more question. for
Okay.
Doug. Do you have a telephone number?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it, don't
No,
you? I know one, oh, that's right.
No, you got
Open
the
first
number,
off.
Doug. Yeah, you're
I have 2
hiding behind
numbers
the
for
new
you.
number is what you're doing.
The ones that are on the town website. That's definitely on the website. Thank you.
Yeah, if you can just send me that thing you're gonna get.
Huh?
If you can just send me that thing you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
get.
sure, I'll scan it in the email, I'll over to you.
I called 3 different numbers.
face down in it.
Shattered. Thanks for.
What's that?
I said, very nice.
Yeah, it was.
You guys have a good night.
You too.
You know how fast a year goes by? I left that door unlocked.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
I'm up done with it.
It's just not very good,
Doesn't seal up good.
huh?
Doesn't seal up good.
Well, you gotta like pull on it and all that, and, you know.
He,